Hello Fudd fans and welcome to the Fudd's review of Doctor Who Season 9 Episode 2, The Witch is Familiar. And by God he did it. Moffat managed to make a second part of a really good episode and not fuck it up. So well done Moffat, my hat's off to you. I know that sounds very condescending but still, well done. Okay, on with the details. So the episode starts with Clara hanging upside down and the reveal of how they survived, which I'm really happy about that they started off the episode like this because it was obvious they both survived, and the fact they wasn't lingering on it I really appreciated. Now, how they revealed the trick they used to survive was that Missy told a story of how an old doctor survived a similar situation, and what I thought was right at the very beginning when they had the walkthrough of William Hartnell's Doctor into Tom Baker's Doctor into Peter Capaldi, and the little bit where Missy was like, I don't know what face it was such a long time ago, let's just use the eyebrows. The thing I thought about that was the way I've always believed it is to another Time Lord. A Time Lord changing their face is just like if human beings change their haircut. They look at them and say, oh, you look good, or you don't look so good, and then that's it. They're still the same person. It's just that they've changed something about their appearance. No big deal. So the fact she lingered on it, I kind of didn't like very much, but I know it was just for fan service. But what I think would have been a good idea was if they used, say, the Tom Baker lookalike to do the story and just shot him in a way so you can't see his face, because clearly that's not actually Tom Baker. But I thought that would be good, but the way they did it was okay. It wasn't very jarring, but I personally don't like the way it was portrayed as though it was a big deal to Missy that he changed his face, because I don't think that's the way Time Lords would be. Of course, that's just me, and this point it's preferencing. If that's the way Moffat wants to take it, then that's okay, but if I was writing it, it wouldn't be a big deal to Missy. Big deal to everyone else because they're not used to it, but to Missy, she knows what everything is, not so big. Then as the story moves on, the Doctor gets all panicky because he still thinks that Clara's dead, and then he steals Davros's chair. And I actually really like that because it's a good point that Davros wouldn't trust his babies to not exterminate him, because when we were first introduced to him, the first thing the Daleks did in Genocide of the Daleks, when they were first introduced after introducing Davros, like they were first created, the first thing they did was kill Davros. Of course he didn't die and he escaped, but that's one of the first things he did, so I would understand him not trusting them and having a force field, and the Doctor realizing this, and it actually makes a lot of sense. The only thing I question about that bit is how did Davros survive it, because the chair is actually his life support system. It always has been, and he's about to die apparently, and then he's taken off of his life support system that he's always needed, so how could he survive that? But to be honest, I'm willing to look past that. That's a nitpick, so I'm okay looking past that. Maybe they could have said that the tubes that were giving him the extra life were helping him survive that scene, but okay, just a question to think about. Next, they have a little cut-in with Missy and Clara, and they're both looking over this pit into the sewers, and it's like, oh, how far down is it? I don't know, let's throw a stone, and then Missy pushes Clara into the pit, and it says about 20 feet. I thought that was really good, because a lot of people are saying about how they want Missy to be the new assistant, and I think that's not such a great idea. I love Missy, I would love to see her in more episodes, but having her as an assistant is kind of a bit but this just shows you about how she's still the master. She's not thinking, oh, I'm going to save the universe. She's just like, oh man, push, no problem. But then the scene goes back to the Doctor and the Daleks, and the Doctor has a cup of tea, and he says, don't ask me about where I got the cup of tea from, just accept it, I'm the Doctor. I wonder who that was. That wasn't the Doctor talking to the Daleks, no, that was Stephen Moffat talking to us. Here's the problem, Moffat, I'll let you off the tea, but in situations like that, we ask these questions because they don't make sense. Just because you can say, oh, he's the Doctor, just deal with it. It's not, no. It's like it's this sort of thing. Like, well, why would he need the cup of tea in the beginning? This one I'll let you off, but I'm just saying, why would he need that cup of tea? In the same similar sort of situations in other episodes when we question it, and you're like, oh, he's the Doctor, just accept it. No. Then we go back to Missy and Clara, and with the jump that they done, went into the sewers. Missy dropped the pointy stick and Clara picked it up and aimed it at Missy. And Missy's like turns around and says like, you're not going to kill me. Quick question, what the hell is a pointy stick going to do against a Time Lord? She could stab one of Missy's hearts, but then Missy will just regenerate and then rip her freaking skull off. Not, just seemed a bit, just as a, oh look, I knew you're not going to kill me. Well, she couldn't even if she was going to. And then moving along, it's explained that these sewers are actually Dalek graveyards, which I guess it makes some sort of sense that they would stay alive because they're biogenically designed to, and they continue to age and break down but still alive. Yeah, I'll accept that. And when the Dalek came down after Missy used Clara as bait and Missy killed the Dalek, I liked how that went down. It's not my favourite, but it was okay, and it does make sense that the old decrepit Daleks that are practically nothing but a pile of goo would hate the rest of the Daleks because of the way they've been treated. And yeah, I could understand that. Of course, why didn't they kill Missy and Clara? But I suppose if in their old age maybe they've started to understand, and maybe the retcon they made with how the Dalek works could be an explanation to that. Then moving on, they go back to Doctor and the Davros, and Davros explains that he's surviving because he's using all the life force from the Daleks, and the Doctor asks how is it that the Daleks are allowing this, and then he says Daleks respect me and it's something I wanted to get rid of. There's another retcon there. Originally, as I said, when Davros was first introduced, the Daleks killed him, supposedly. Obviously he survived again, but then later on Davros actually made more Daleks, but this time added the respect thing so they didn't kill him, and it was a whole war sort of thing between these new Daleks and the old Daleks, so he added that into them. So him trying to get rid of that is kind of a bit, no, but again, I'm just nitpicking here. And the whole deal with the chair thing was kind of amusing. I'll let that one go as well. And then as Davros explains that these pipes were part of the Daleks' life force and he could use them to create another genocide of the Daleks. I definitely liked that bit because it was, again, like, he's an older Doctor, he's seen what the Daleks can do. Is he willing to make that sacrifice now? And obviously he says no and walks steps away, so okay. But just thinking about it just now, with how the ending of the episode is and how it's resolved, it's kind of a bit, well, it happened anyway. All the Daleks on the planet died, so what was the point? But I'm getting ahead of myself. So we go down into the sewers again, and it is explained to us exactly how a Dalek works, where it's sort of the programming that shows how things go, and even if the Dalek says like things like I love you, it would come out with exterminate and so on and so forth. So it brings up some pretty good questions about how the Daleks actually work. Maybe the mutant inside the Dalek casing can have emotions such as love and things like that, but then the case itself then changes it into like exterminate and killing things and hatred. But of course this is a bit of a retcon because we have spoken to inside the Daleks before, and we know that they're exactly like the regular Daleks. So the question I have is, maybe what they could say is the Daleks put in there, and they're these new mutants things, and then they look around, they see things like them, more Daleks, and they're saying exterminate, we hate everything, such things. So that teaches them that this is the way I am, this is the way we should be, and then they have hatred taught to them by other Daleks, and maybe the ones that understand the way things work and can love and things like that would explain the mental hospital, I can't remember what they called it, but the one where Clara was first introduced in the Matt Smith series, where Daleks that went wrong. Maybe they could understand that, and that's why they've been put into there. So maybe that works. It's a bit of a workaround, and as I said, it is a retcon. But I actually think I like this retcon. It adds another layer to the Daleks. And I've always liked the Daleks because it seemed to me that they show emotion. Not like the Cybermen. The Cybermen are just emotionless droids, and I never understood the way they work because of it. But it seems to me like the Daleks have fear and have some sort of emotion, and that's what attracts me to them. So maybe this would explain it. And I actually like this retcon, and I hope that it gets moved forward and added upon. And then again, as we move along, Davros and the Doctor have a really nice heart-to-heart, and the Doctor reveals that he saved Gallifrey and they're out there somewhere, and then Davros says, I'm really happy for you. And of course, as it moves along, it's kind of a trick, but I personally am under the belief that there's some element to truth to it, because the one thing about Davros that a lot of people seem to forget, because it's not rammed down our throats like it is the Doctor, is really Davros is the last of his kind as well. So he understands. Yeah, he has his children, the Daleks, but they're not the same. They're just these emotionless robots sort of thing. He has a strange sort of love towards them, but they're not on his level. So yes, the reason why he's the last of his kind is his own fault. But that being said, before, when it was drummed into us that the Doctor was the last of his kind, it was explained to us that it was his fault. So there's very similarities there, and I actually really liked it. And I like the sort of Star Wars reference where it was, let me look at you with my own eyes, and he opens his eyes. Yeah, it was a nice touch, and looking at the sun was kind of reminds me of Dalek, the first Dalek episode of the returning Doctor Who in 2005, where the Dalek opened itself up and absorbed the sun. I liked it. And then they announced this prophecy of two great warring races coming together and creating one better. I have a suspicion that's coming into the finale, because that's usually what happens, is they'll reveal something like that in the first story and then it will reveal itself in the end. So we'll see what happens with that, although I have some theories that I'll get to later. So yeah, Davros tricks the Doctor into giving the Daleks some regeneration energy and creating a Doctor-Dalek hybrid, which they've already done before. They did it in the episode where they were in New York when they built the Empire State Building. They put the Time Lord DNA and the Dalek DNA into the humans, so it's kind of a Doctor-Dalek human hybrid. So we've seen it, but it's a slightly different twist on it, because it was just giving them the energy, and then of course it woke up the old Daleks who had the energy then to come and attack the younger ones, the ones that haven't been decayed yet. And it seemed like a bit of a get out of jail free card, but I suppose, plus as I said before, it killed all the Daleks on the planet, apart from the old ones I suppose. So the whole genocide of the Dalek things, where it was like tempting the Doctor, was kind of a bit unnecessary, because it was done anyway, because as it said, it was all the life force of the Daleks on the planet, so if there was any Daleks anywhere else, then they'd survive. So yeah, but I suppose it was okay. They had to round it up, and it's either that or creating a big explosion some other way. So, and the fact that Davros, in his plan of getting the Doctor to give the regeneration energy, didn't think about the sewers and that whole thing, and the Doctor did, and he knew what was going on the entire time. It was a bit, oh yeah, we've got these really emotional scenes coming up that I really want to keep, that which I fully agree they should have kept. But now we're kind of run out of time in the episode. Oh, quick twist, this is what happens. Yeah, okay, I would definitely keep the emotional things, but maybe a little more tweaks with the get out of jail free card sort of thing with the old Daleks. As opposed, he could have overloaded it with the regeneration energy and blew up the planet sort of thing, possibly. It's all bad. It's kind of putting him into a corner, and we have to get out within a few minutes because that's all that's left in the episode. So, okay, I'll let them have the old Daleks coming up and killing them. Okay, I'll let you have that. But then the Doctor meets up with Missy, who pokes Davros in the eye like she said she was going to, which I liked because it was a little callback to the beginning, and that's okay. And it moves along, and then the Doctor gets introduced again to Clara in the Dalek suit, so he doesn't know it's Clara. And then Missy tries to trick the Doctor into killing her. I didn't like this bit at all. Of course, it was a way to add the mercy, so he goes back in time and saves Davros because he works out that he did it. But yeah, it was just a way of saying, hey, I'm Missy, I'm evil still, this is why we're not friends, so on and so forth. And it was a bit meh. And then we go along, and the Doctor and Clara goes into the main room, and the Daleks go to exterminate them, but the TARDIS force field still activated. But it's sort of, oh, another one of those, oh shit, we've got a couple of seconds to fix this one that we did for dramatic reasons. How are we going to fix that? Oh shit, it just dispersed and come back again. But okay. Then the Doctor says, oh, all I've got to do is sonic it to bring it back. Yeah, but he doesn't have his screwdriver anymore, so he has sonic sunglasses. Now, I'm okay with the glasses as sort of like a Fez thing, where it's like every so often he'll pop them on and say like, oh, these are my sunglasses. That's his little thing that he does. I'm okay with that, because every Doctor's got one. Although the sonic attachment thing, I don't think it's going to stay for very long. I do think that maybe a screwdriver will come back in the next episode, possibly, because if for nothing else, their sunglasses look like actual sunglasses. They don't look like high-tech sunglasses, so they can't really market them. And sonic screwdrivers are quite a good seller for the Doctor Who merchandise department, so I have a suspicion a screwdriver's coming back soon. I'm not convinced it's going to be the green one. Maybe it's going to be a new design, so then they can make a new screwdriver to market to people, and I guarantee I will buy it. But these sunglasses, you can keep them, but take away the sonic. And as my wife just told me, apparently they are Ray-Ban sunglasses, so they can't brand them because they already are a brand. So yeah, pretty much a screwdriver of some variety is coming back. I am certain of it. So we'll see whether it's the green one or a brand new screwdriver. I think it's about time for a new screwdriver, in all fairness. I really do. Then going on, Missy gets cornered by a group of Daleks, and she says, oh, I have a plan, and it cuts away. Well, I'm like 90% sure that's your finale. Missy and the Daleks teaming up together. So we'll see with that. If they don't team up together, she's going to escape, and I believe Missy will be the finale, but we'll see. That's my prediction. I got it right last season. Let's maybe see if we get it right this season as well. I'm going to say the finale will be Missy and the Daleks creating the hybrid that the prophecy foretold, ignoring the fact the prophecy has already been fulfilled, but let's say that's going to be the case. But then, talking about things I predicted, the Doctor goes back in time and saves Child Davros by shooting the landmines. I called it. I'm okay with it. It is still a paradox, but it's an okay paradox. It doesn't change too much, so I'll let that one slide. It's probably the best way they could get out of it, which is probably why I predicted it, because it's the only way that makes sense. I would have possibly have cut out the cliffhanger. I know it was done for dramatic reasons. I mean the cliffhanger from the first part where he was like, exterminate, and you think he's going to kill the kid. Yeah, I would have taken that out and had the cliffhanger of the Daleks killing Missy and Clara and ignore the TARDIS, because as we said, that was just all done for dramatic reasons, and too many questions were asked about that they obviously had to fix quite quickly. Just have Missy and Clara be killed and then teleport away. So use that as your cliffhanger and ignore the exterminating bit at the end. I think that would be better. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this review, please like, favourite and subscribe. I am the Fudd. Thanks for listening.